Hey guys, how's it going? I'm so fired up right now. Headed down to a childhood moment spot here where I grew up, going down to the beach, going surfing and stuff like that. And so really excited to have my family here today and some of my youngsters to experience the same thing. And so we're out here in Carlsbad, California, pursuing our family adventure. And it's the middle of the day. It is a Wednesday in the middle of the day, and excited to be here. Hey, so here we are at Tower 37. Got it right here behind me, and it's very reminiscent just seeing this whole area. And so a couple of things that I think are important. It was a life lesson that I learned right here at this very spot that I never realized was a life lesson at first. And so number one thing was out here in the ocean, caught the biggest wave I ever caught ever. And this is also where I almost drowned, the same place, which is kind of crazy. So one of the things too in surfing, they measure how big a wave is from actually the back, not the front or the face of the wave. And so we're on like it was like a 4 to 8 foot day. And so what's crazy about that is, again, that's from the back of the wave. It's still curling up. If you're at the face of the wave, it sometimes can be 2-3 feet higher. So there are waves, right, that are taller than you are that you're riding down. And so when you wipe out, it feels like the sensation that, hey, your brother or sister convinced you to get in the washing machine, and they turned it on, but then pushed it down 2-3 flights of stairs, because you're like in a washing machine that you can't get out of sometimes. And not are you always spinning, but it's holding you down under. And so in those moments, you can't panic, right? I grabbed my leash, I pulled myself up by my leash, and then I pushed off the ground when I felt the ground, and I popped back up. But it was for like a good 25-30 seconds. And when you're panic breathing and you have no breath, those of you guys that have ever surfed or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, like way out there surfing, not just on the shore. It gets kind of crazy. But also what's crazy is the biggest wave I caught ever in my life right behind me here on that day where it was about 4 to 8 feet. And so that was just a very reminiscent moment. But what that taught me in life, folks, is that some of the greatest joys can come from the greatest challenge in the same place. And so how do you overcome challenges, right? How do you grow your finances? How do you live a life that you fall in love with, where you get to come to the beach in the middle of the day? As you can see, right, it's super empty, right? There's very few people here at all, okay? And so that's what I love. It's just the quality of time from building a business and stuff. But it's not just about that, right? What you got to do is, number one, you got to identify what culture you're in. Identify what culture you're in. And once you realize the kind of culture you're in, are people succeeding, right? You know, one of the craziest things is that if you average out the income of the 10 people you spend the most time with, guess what? That's going to be your income too. I wasn't happy with that, okay? Where I was many years ago. And so I had to change my circle of influence. I had to change my culture, right? Which leads to the second step. You got to identify the culprit. You got to identify what the challenge is, right? Once you identify the culture and are people growing, right? But you also got to understand, hey, what's the actual problem within the culture, right? And you got to attack, and you have to change that culture and change the culprit, and you got to change your future, right? And so those are just some life lessons I learned, but those were really in my head as we're here on our family trip. And again, as you see, how would you love to come to the beach or have some of the greatest experiences in your life when it's totally empty, peace of mind, all that? I can't tell you how good stuff like this feels. This can be your life too, and it doesn't have to be the beach. It doesn't got to be surfing. It doesn't got to be stuff of remembering when your brothers and sisters tossed you in the washing machine, right? It could be whatever you want, right? This is just what we like, okay? And so it's all about running for your dreams. And so that's what I got for you guys today.